Hey everyone, thank you for joining me for today's live. As you know, Wednesdays are now my favorite time of the week when I get to spend time with all of you. So as everybody is jumping on here, please be sure to, as always, keep your comments kind both to each other and to our family. And I'm so glad you're all here. Leanna has just joined us. Thank you for being here. I had record amounts of questions come in this week, so I will cover as much as I can without trying to keep you guys here for too long, although I know we love spending time together. Cynthia, thank you for being here and for joining us. Loretta, nice to see you. And as you are hopping on here, please be sure to leave in the comments where you are from. It's fun to make those connections where everybody lives. And a way to represent the state or the country that you live in. Mary, thank you for joining us. Mary is joining us today as well. And Saba is here. Nice to see you, Saba. So many great people. So let's just dive in to some of the questions that I did receive. The girls have their dance recital dress rehearsal is coming up this Saturday. So they are excited for that. They're excited to wear their costumes. They are excited to get to wear makeup. Lily especially is like, Mom, when do I get to wear makeup? So that's a big deal for her. So they're all just excited. We had dance class yesterday. Everybody attended, everybody participated, and Violet did too. The girls have had a growth spurt though, so I need to size up. I need to size up with their leotards. Out of nowhere, all three girls have just grown like crazy. So anyway, we are getting excited for that. And then their dance recital is coming up here pretty soon. And it's a pretty fun tradition. It reminds me of when I had my dance recitals throughout the years. And then also I dance with the studio as well. So it's kind of fun to have now daughters that get to participate in that. Let's see, we've got Grace from North Ireland. Jenny is from England. And Mary Joyce is just joining us as well. Stephanie Browning is from Anaheim, California. And Stephanie, I did remember that you were from Anaheim. Some of you have commented before, and I'm starting to remember where everybody lives myself. So it's fun to make those connections. Some of the other things that we have coming up, Landon is graduating from the 8th grade, and he will be entering into 9th grade. And in Southern Utah, school looks a little bit different. So we have 8th and 9th grade that are considered middle school. Intermediate school is considered 6th and 7th graders. And then high school is 10th, 11th, and 12th. So Landon's grades will start counting in the 9th grade, but he doesn't officially go to the high school until 10th grade. But Landon really is excited because he wants to audition for choir. He really has a knack and a talent for music, I think, and it's kind of his happy place. And he's excited to work with the same choir director that his older brother did too. So that will be fun. And then Landon also has decided to start soccer again. So he is hoping to try out and make a team here soon. He doesn't want to play as competitively as he once did. He wants to play for the joy and love of soccer. So he is looking forward to some of those things. And today, actually, he's going to go spend some time with little grandma. So if little grandma, you were watching this, he should be coming to your house pretty soon here. He's pretty excited. He'll be spending time with Aunt Katie and some cousins over at Little Grandma's, and we just love that gal. She's the best. Chris just asked, when does Shaden come home? He will be coming home in like the next 2 weeks, and we are so excited to see him. We've missed him, and honestly, as a mom, I'm so proud of him. He's really turned into this wonderful young man of an adult now. Like, he knows how to work. He knows how to work hard. He knows how to play hard, and he knows what he loves. He knows what he's about, and I couldn't be more proud of him. He's kind of wanting to do a little bit of traveling this summer, hopefully. He has a friend who has family ties to Norway, so he's hoping to possibly go visit Norway if that's possible, but he'll need to get a passport. So that's kind of something that he's been talking about as of late, but he is just such a great kid. So great question. Debbie is from Indiana. Indiana is where little grandma is from. We've got somebody from Farmington, New Mexico, and Sandra has just hopped on and is watching as well. Thank you for being here. Okay, so let's dive into some of the questions that came in. I had so many come in, so if some have been redundant and I've answered them before, I'm not going to be answering them again just so we can get through as many questions as possible. So Jerry asks, what's your next project in your new home? So as you guys know, if you've been watching the vlogs, I'm almost done renovating that laundry room. I think the parts that took me the longest to do were having a handyman come in and replumb and do electric work for double washer dryer units. And since it is an older home, some things just took a little bit longer to work on, and I wanted to pay cash as I went along, because I really love being debt free. And so anyway, laundry room is almost done. My next project, Landon is like, Mom, can we please work on my room? So he wants to work on that room next. I also want to work on the playroom, because it's the first room that you see when you walk in the door, and I feel like that will be really fast. So I kind of want to teach Landon how to retexture the walls so that he can be working on that, and it can be a project that we can work on together. Now, if you guys have been watching the vlogs, I've mentioned that Dad and I have been alternating the little kids from Sunday to Sunday, and now Landon has asked to alternate from Wednesday to Wednesday. So that gives him about 2 days to spend just with each parent, and that's really been a fun time for me to spend time with my son. Now, I didn't vlog what we were up to the last time I had him, but I did take him out for dinner. It was a really nice meal, and we went and overlooked the city and just chatted while we were waiting for our table, and just had some great conversation. We ran to Walmart to pick up a few things that he wanted for like his little video game system, and then some of his favorite snacks, which are like Dr. Pepper and I think Lay's like pickle chips is like his favorite thing right now. So we got some of those. So I don't always pick up the camera, especially when it comes to the older boys. Now, when they're with their dad, I think the banter back and forth and like just having their dad, they're a little more apt to want to be on filmed, because he keeps things really fun and lighthearted. Whereas with me, Landon's a lot more shy and doesn't always want to be filmed. So I film what I can, but I am always very respectful in regards to my older boys of when they want to have something filmed and when they just don't. And I did have a question come in about that very thing, and I'll see if I can find who exactly asked it. I can't remember who, but it's going to be on here. Okay. Barbara asked, do you ask the kids if they want to be on camera? So with the big boys, that's a yes. With the little kids, they actually don't mind, and they think it's rather fun. And for them, they're kind of used to it. But like if they're really, really, really super sick, I don't pick up the camera, just to give the child, I don't know, like grace, dignity to just rest. If they are in like a super bad mood, I try and be respectful of the child, because every kid has those moments. But for the most part, the kids don't mind being on camera, and they think it's kind of fun, and they love looking back at their videos of like when they were little, because it was such an experience, and they're actually really proud of themselves, which I think is wonderful. And having quintuplets, it goes at super lightning speed. So for me as a mom, it's really hard to remember everything. And this is a way that we can go back and look at the highlights of our life over the years. And so anyway, I thought that was a great question. Karen says, what are your plans for the front garden? I have so many plans for that front yard, and it really, I'll have to go film. Maybe I'll film it for like a little segment in my upcoming vlog. But I think it's called purple or dark night salvia that's growing in my front yard that is just so pretty right now, that the previous homeowner, Miss Holly, planted, and it's so pretty. So I kind of want to do kind of like the color palette of purples, either reds or pinks, I haven't decided yet, and then whites just to accentuate the other colors with like hints of white and lime green. I think would be so pretty. And I would love to paint the exterior of this house like a creamy shade of white with either like a grayish tone for like the trim work. I think it would be so, 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 so pretty, and it would just make the house look brand new. So those are kind of my plans in the front yard as far as like color palette. I really am envisioning like planting boxwoods and provincial lavender, And then white iceberg roses, I think would just be so striking for this yard. It is overgrown with a lot of weeds right now. That has been like a big problem with this property. I feel like moving in is like maintaining the weeds. I back up to old farmland, and then I'm also in between like a golf course and like the river. And so just a lot of things blow into our yard when the wind picks up. And so I'm really trying to get back my front yard when it comes to the grass. But I'm really excited as I'm finishing up the interior of the home and working through it to work on the garden. Because for me, I finally feel like I'm home when I can put my hands into the earth, into the soil, and plant something. It just feels like home. And we have somebody from Paris, France. Thank you for joining us. I love the French culture. I took French for 4 years in both middle school and high school. Love the people there. So glad you're here. Did you ever find that spider? Yes, I filmed a vlog where I was trying to catch a spider, but doing it left-handed. So I was trying to catch the spider left-handed. I'm right-handed, but I was trying to hold the camera, and some of the little kids were really scared. So the spider, it was a wolf spider, it was probably about that big, ran underneath the piano, and we didn't see it for days. Well, while the kids were at their dad's house, I found the spider in the homeowner's suite bathroom right before I sat down to go use the restroom. And there was the spider. So I just quickly killed it. I was not going to take it outside because it was just going to come back inside and make a problem for us. So I did find that spider, which I'm really grateful for, because I really didn't want the little kids to find it a second time and be too scared about it. So I did find the spider. Great question. Monica is joining us as well. Thank you for being here. Okay, another question that came in was, how do you get the courage to be able to start going out? Honestly, it took me a good solid 2 years to even feel like I was somewhat ready to go out on a date. And the only reason I really feel like I did is we had you guys know his name is Austin, but a neighbor of mine had set us up, and he was highly recommended from these neighbors. But it still took me a solid 2.5 months to just work up the courage to go out on a date. And he was really patient with me as we were getting to know each other, because I just wasn't quite ready to go out on an actual date and meet up in real life. So we did go on about 5 dates in a span of 6 months. We've not gone out since really the Quint's birthday party. He did meet the kids just the one time. And I've gone on one other date with one other person, and he was really wonderful. He was really good to me. He was really kind. But right now, I feel like with the end of the school year, I just want to focus on my kids. So I've kind of taken a pause from wanting to date, but I still feel hopeful about dating, if that makes sense. So I thought Colette asked a really good question, and I still go back and forth as to whether or not I really want to. I think after I get to know someone through text or by phone, through some of these online dating apps, I get just a better picture and feel for the person as to whether or not I want to meet up in real life and actually go out on a date to get to know them better. So I think it's different for everybody. I had envisioned just focusing on my family for a good solid 5 years. And I still just want to make sure that my children are my top priority, as well as making sure I am the best mom possible for myself and for my kids. Claudia is joining us from Switzerland. Hi. And Stephanie is joining us as well. Thank you for being here. Okay. Vanessa asks, do you believe in the healing journey, that things happen for us, not to us? I thought this was a really deep question. I would love to know Vanessa's thoughts about this as well, and know each of your thoughts on this as well. This is a hard one for me. I think there's some things that happen to us based on our own choices. I think sometimes the choices of others. I think sometimes things just happen because they happen. So to me, it's a multifaceted question and answer. The best I really had of an answer for this, in my opinion, is that anything that I've gone through has given me an opportunity to both learn and grow as a person. I don't know why, one of the big life questions people always ask are like, why do bad things happen to good people? I don't know. That's a hard one for me. I don't know. But things that I've experienced in my life, I just try and learn as much as I can and feel and process things in the healthiest ways possible as I can. But I thought she asked a really good question. It almost seems like just like a basic question that everybody wants the answer to. But I do believe that life is a journey, and it's a place where we get to experience and have these life experiences, hopefully that change us for the better and be the best possible person that we can be. Okay, Ginger says, do you worry about college tuition and also providing cars? Yes, I do. I think the good news is like Shaden is graduated, and since there's a span of 5 years between the big boys, I feel like Shaden is on his way and on his path of figuring out what he wants in life and what path he wants to take. And I'm really proud of him. He's able to provide for himself with a little bit of support from mom and dad on an as needed basis. And he has so many people that love and adore him and cheer him on. And we were just so proud of him. So he's doing good. Dad and I both, he was given a car when he was younger, and it was actually dad's, we had our van, and then dad had an extra vehicle, so he was able to have a car. So hopefully the same experience for Landon in the next few years, but it's something that I think about. So in my mind, I think, okay, in the next 3 years, I need to make sure that I encourage Landon to help get a job, and that dad and I will split likely the cost of a probably used vehicle for him. And dad used to sell cars, so dad knows how to look for a good deal. So I think when it comes to selecting a car that's reasonably priced with the right mileage on it, Landon's going to be just fine. Now, when it comes to the quintuplets, everything times 5, yeah, I do think about that. And I think in the beginning, especially as the quintuplets are learning how to drive, this is a co-parenting question that dad and I are going to have to work together on. I'm going to guess that we'll probably have 2 vehicles. We'll see, what dad and I can afford. Dad meaning Skylar. Yes. Yeah. Dad meaning Skylar. So we might just have 2 vehicles and the quints can share. Now, let's say that some are on the cross country team. Let's say some decide they want to play soccer. Like whoever's in those things, they'll have to organize amongst themselves ride shares or catching a ride with a friend. But we'll see. That's a tricky question. I don't know at this point in time how that's all going to work out, but I really want to encourage my kids and teach them a good, strong work ethic so that they can be saving and thinking about those things as they go along. As far as college tuition, Shaden did pay his own way. That first semester, he did have some help and support from both mom and dad, where we were able to help pay a portion of his tuition and help with a portion of his books. But Shaden truly has worked so hard in paying for that second semester with 3 jobs. I'm really proud of that kid, or that young man. He's a young man now. He has really learned how to work and balance school life. And it wasn't always easy for him these last couple semesters, but he did say that he feels like he's got the hang of it. And he has saved enough that he will be able to pay for his next, I think 2 semesters. He's hoping to still get a scholarship for soccer, but those are truly hard to come by, because I think there's only 1% of kids that actually play college, play soccer on a collegiate level. So he's really hoping to get that because that would be really, really helpful as far as my kids and as far as Landon. I'm really hoping that they can work on getting the best grades that they possibly can to get a full ride scholarship, a half ride scholarship with grades over time. So school is going to be really important for my kids, I feel like. And especially for Landon, finding something that he loves, that he's passionate about, and helping him to get employment so he can be saving up for those important things too. Okay, next question. Rose says, she'd love to see pictures of you, Jamie, when I was about 6 years old. Could you share? I would love to. So I can share that in an up and coming vlog. Let's see. My uncle went there, I think. Okay, say that again in the comments because it went really fast. Hi, Jamie from Rochester. Did you get the egg apron? I did. It's adorable. I think the Quints are going to love collecting eggs in those. So I had a gal that sent me, she just commented just barely. She sent the cutest little apron that has all of these pockets so that when you go gather eggs, you can put all the eggs in the pockets of the apron. It was so cute. It had little chicks on it. I haven't showed it to the quintuplets yet, but I think they're going to love it. So thank you for sending that. Let's see, what is Shaden doing after college? So he is done in the next week or two here. He is hoping to go to Norway for a little bit if he can, and just experience a different place, which I think would be a wonderful opportunity. When he graduates from college, I don't know. He still sees Tatum, his cute girlfriend, in his future. But we'll just have to see. I think she's going to be attending a school in northern Utah. And she actually, I think, just got a full ride for a couple of things, like for dance. Was it for dance? I can't remember. And I want to say like business or something. So we're really proud of her. She's got amazing parents and she's a go-getter. So that's kind of what Shaden is thinking so far, post-college. Zoe asked, you mentioned internet dating. Is the relationship you have spoken about not working? So she's probably referencing my relationship with Austin. He and I are taking a break right now. We have communicated a little bit. We did chat a little bit even just this morning through text. I wouldn't say that it's not working. I think we're just taking a break, and I've expressed that it would be good for me to date and meet other people just because I feel like I want to find the best fit for both me and my family and my kids. And he has a pretty good job and a pretty good routine, and things are pretty smooth for him with what he does. And he doesn't live in Utah. And so we're just taking some time just to see how we think and feel about everything. But we still have a wonderful friendship. Okay, next question. Ashley says, have you thought about putting Violet in soccer? Yes, I would love to know what Vivi thinks about that. That little girl, though, like in dance class, she doesn't like anybody touching her. And soccer is a contact sport. And so I still don't even know if she's going to love soccer. But I think she might love it too. I don't know. Shayden sure loved it. Landon sure loves it. And it might just be that little girl's cup of tea. So we will have to see what she thinks about that. Eleonora is joining us. Thank you for being here as well. Okay, I'll take some questions up here on the screen. So if you guys want to comment on anything, if you have any questions for me, where in Norway is Shayden going? Linda, I don't know. Are you from Norway? I'm not sure. He needs to get his passport. He's got a friend whose mother is from Norway and whose father is from Brazil. And so his friend is going to be up there, his very good best friend. And so they thought it would be fun to spend some time together this summer up there for a little bit. Let's see. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask them, and I will be watching on the screen as they are coming in. Judy asked, how do the Quins feel about you dating? I'll get to that in a minute. Have you ever considered shorter hair? You would look stunning both ways. Thank you. Yes. I once had a bob that was like to here. It was kind of like a layered bob. And then I had like side swept bangs, and it was my favorite haircut ever, but it was a lot of maintenance I found. And like, I don't like having bangs in my eyes. Like it really, and like when I would lean down, my hair would kind of fall into my eyes and it just drove me nuts. And I found I always had it up in a ponytail. Whereas with like longer hair right now, it just tends to be a little bit easier. Okay, and I had somebody else just ask another question. So you're welcome to comment. Just ask that question again if I don't answer it. Judy asked, how do the Quints feel about you dating? I didn't really talk to them much about the dating. They just met Austin the one time, and they thought he was really nice. Lily just randomly was talking about him this morning. I really haven't brought up dating with my kids at all, but just introducing them is like, it's important that you have a good support system with both mom and dad. And it's important to know how my kids think and feel if I do have them meet somebody. But I wouldn't say, I think they just thought he was kind. That was really like their general thing. Your home looks so very airy and roomy. Thank you. It's clean right now, so I thought I'd film in this room. Usually when it's trashed, I go in the other room. Where in Indiana is Little Grandma from? I've asked Little Grandma this multiple times, and then I keep forgetting. I can't remember. So Little Grandma, if you're watching this, you can type in where you were born. I'm not from Norway, from Sweden, but I have been working in Norway. Would recommend visiting those two places. Okay, I will let Shaden know to look into that. Thank you for commenting on that. Sunshine Rose is watching. Thank you for watching. We're glad you're here. How is school going for the Quints from Washington State? Where in Washington State do you live? I used to live in Bellingham, Washington for a couple years, and it is beautiful. The kids are doing really well in school. I was just checking in with the teachers both yesterday and today, and both teachers feel that the kids are ready for the first grade. What have you found? Okay, ask me that question again. Hi from Kaiser. Hi, glad you're here. And Johanna is from Kansas City. Thank you for being here. Okay, ask me that question again. I started to read the beginning of your comment, but it came really fast. Clarkston, Washington, which is below Spokane. My best girlfriend lives in Spokane. Linda, thanks for being here as well. Watching from Spring, Texas. Connie, thanks for joining us. I do love Texas. Okay, next question. Stephanie says, when is the girls' dance recital? That's in the next coming weeks. Have any lost teeth yet? Yes, Debbie, just Lily. So Lily has lost her 2 bottom teeth, and just today she was telling me her 2 front teeth are now wiggling. What have you found to be the easiest thing and most challenging thing about co-parenting? The easiest thing, it's nice, I think, that both parents get to have breaks. Having hired or multiples, our co-parenting looks a little different. So having hired or multiples, it's nice that we each get to take breaks and almost like revamp for our time with the kids, and so that we can get things done, I think, around our house. I think the most challenging thing about co-parenting is having quintuplets, honestly, and finding the best solution and problem solving when it comes to hired or multiples. I feel like we do pretty good with our co-parenting, but as always, I always feel like there's room for improvement. Sometimes it's tricky with the food allergies. I think for me personally, that's probably the trickiest one, because we want so much to introduce new foods to the kids, but then it's tricky when they break out in hives or rashes. So it's hard, sometimes to be like, okay, is this from something that I gave them recently? Is this something that they ate when they were with dad? So having to communicate equally on that sometimes gets a little tricky for us. Okay, we've got some people from Norway watching. This is cool. I'll let Shaden know. We've got somebody from Pennsylvania watching as well. Sandy, hi. And we've got people joining us. Jana from Oklahoma. You might try for sports activities with the Quints or any other local rec centers. Sarah, I like that idea too. I think affordability from here on out for dad and I too is going to be really helpful when choosing what to put our kids into. Did you name the bunny? I haven't yet, and I'm really excited. So we've got Miss Sadie, who is an owner of Holland Lop Hill Rabbitry, that is out of Shelley, Idaho. She has a wonderful rabbitry, and those animals are just so well taken care of, and they're used to being around children. So I wanted Holland Lop rabbits for a good, let's see, the Quints are 6. I had rabbits right before I got pregnant, actually when I was pregnant with the quintuplets, but I gave them away when I moved to Arizona because I couldn't take care of them. I loved having rabbits. So I reached out to Miss Sadie because so many of our viewers, both on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, suggested that since they're herd animals, to get 2. So we are going to be getting 2 pet rabbits here, and I'm so excited, and it'll give me something to love on when my kids are gone at their dad's too. So I'm excited. It'll be just wonderful to have them as pets, but I also want their poo for fertilizer, for gardening, and for composting. So I still want to stick with like flower names, but we had some really cute flower names come in for pet rabbits. So I'm going to let the kids pick, and I think we'll take a vote out of like the cutest rabbit names and see what they decide. So in the next few weeks, I've got to get a rabbit hutch. I need to get like a water bottle, a feeding tray, Timothy hay. All of our rabbits are going to be litter box trained. They're going to come litter box trained, which I didn't even know was a thing until I had rabbits the last time. Iris would be a really cute bunny name. I do love that. So, and I do want girl bunnies. I don't want boy girl bunnies because it means I would have more than two. So they're both going to be female rabbits. I had bunnies before and they were both male and they fought, and I had to give one away because having two in the same cage just doesn't work. So having two female rabbits, I think, will be a perfect fit for our family. Let's see, I missed that. Can't wait to see your bunnies and the children with them. I think they're going to be really excited. Violet was a little worried because, as you guys know, she really does love having her bunny. It's like her comfort thing for her right now. And every child has their thing. I had like a baby doll that I loved when I was a little girl, but for Violet, it's like her little bunny, Petunia and Pansy for rabbit names. Those are cute. So she wasn't excited at first, but I told her, no, you can still keep your bunny because it's special to you, but now you'll get to have something just to go pet, take care of, give it treats. And if any of my neighbors are watching this, if you have like leftover, I don't know, things that rabbits can eat, we would love the leftovers too to feed our pet rabbits. It'll be great. So I'm excited for the kids. I think this property that I've purchased is wonderful. I would like, though, I've been thinking though about like extending like your basic hutch, so that the rabbits can actually fertilize the grass and like play on the grass and stuff. So if there's like an extension for a rabbit cage, I don't know if anybody's ever created anything like that. I just need to make sure that it's protected and has like a roof, because I'm looking out my window right here and I have like 2 hawks that'll come and perch like every evening at like 6 p.m. So I don't want them to be left outside unless there's like a safety cover here. And it looks like we do have a spammer, so I will take care of making sure that person is off here. Thank you for letting me know, everybody. You guys are great. And then somebody asked about bringing the kids on camera. They're actually in school right now, and Skylar and I both agreed the kids will not be in live videos until they're 18. My cousins used to say something about like a mesh roof. Okay, my grand rabbits are Sunny, Archie, Scout, Zoe, Freckles, Nellie, and Bailey. Those are cute. Those are cute rabbit names. And I really would love to get a dog, and I wanted a dog. I mean, I would still love to get a dog, but Landon is severely allergic to dogs, and so is Violet. Even the hypoallergenic ones, Landon's eyes are still itchy. So we'll see. I would still love to get a dog at some point. Do rabbits need flea and tick prevention? I don't know. Does anybody know the answer to that question? That is a good question. Will you be putting in a garden? Holly, yes. I really want to put like 3 box gardens in. I think the cost to make that, I think I could afford to put those in. I think the cost of lumber isn't too bad, and I could also use like discounted lumber, somebody said. But I would like one of those bins to be like my compost thing where I just toss everything in of leftovers, the chicken fertilizer, rabbit pellets, like that would, you know, like their poo, that would be great. And then just work that in, and then work that into my garden every like spring and fall. I think could be really good because this property is just beautiful. It just needs like a loving hand to spruce it up a little bit, and I'm really excited to do that. So anyway, you guys have had some really good thoughts that have come in. Bertha asks, do you and Skylar share the van? So I've covered this question before. No, we don't share the van. We each have our own van, and I think Dad just got a brand new van that's actually a minivan, and I kind of am like, I like that idea because then I could fit it into my garage. Before he had one where you can stand up in, but having a minivan, they often come with like a little DVD player, which is great. Okay, Barbara says, do you ask the kids if they want to be on camera? We ever covered that. Jojo said, do you financially support your family with the proceeds of social media? Yes, and I have covered this before. I'm really, really grateful because this provides a way for me to be at home with the kids. I'm able to volunteer in my kids' classroom, which is something that's really important to me, especially on the off weeks when I don't have them. I still get to see the kids. So between Facebook, people watching and supporting, liking these videos, commenting, it helps us in the algorithm. It suggests us to new viewers and helps us gain followers. So by watching views, ad placement that companies will put in between our videos, and then also when I have actual sponsors, they make it all possible so that I can pay my editor, Kyle, who's wonderful to work with, and then pay for all of my basic bills. So we have all of our basics covered right now, and I'm really grateful for that. So between Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, I'm able to make enough money to cover all of our basic videos. Okay, Julianne says, when you bought the house, did you know you wanted to renovate? Yes, I did. I have loved this house for many, many years and always thought this house is an older home, but it's just charming. And I'd actually been in this house before. So the gal that owned this, when I was in Sunday school as a young adult at the college, she was like my leader of like, they call it like the Relief Society. It's like a female organization at church where women can gather and we have Sunday school lessons. And so we had 2 meetings once, I think, in her house. And so I sat in the kitchen and then I also, I think, had a pool party in the backyard once. And so I just remember thinking, wow, this is a really beautiful property. And I love the architecture and I always thought it had great bones, but it actually wasn't for sale when I was looking around town at properties. But I was on a drive. I don't know if I've shared this with you guys. I was on a drive with my dad and he was like, okay, well, what are you looking for? And as we were driving, because as you guys know, they live in my same neighborhood, we passed by this house and I said, Dad, I'm looking for a property just like that one that just needs like a fresh coat of paint on the outside and something that I could make my own. And so we went and drove for like 2 hours all around town. At the time, there weren't a lot of properties for rent or for sale. But my dad happened to talk to the homeowner at church and he was saying how much Jamie had loved the property. And the guy said, well, we haven't told anybody this, but we actually are building a house and we're going to sell our house. And my dad was like, well, what's your price? And it just happened to be something that I could afford somehow. And anyway, I'm just really grateful to have found this property. I love this house. I think the pool is wonderful. It's got a great space for me to garden and the kids love finding bugs and snails. And we love the wildlife in the backyard, backing up to this old farmland. It's just beautiful. So yes, I wanted a house that we could make our own and add our own touch. And it's fun to see what the kids want to do with the property as well. So we are loving it. Elizabeth asks, how do you deal with the holidays when the kids are at their dad's? I do miss my kids when I don't have them for holidays, but I also am happy because I know that they're creating good memories with their dad, spending time with Skylar. And then it gives me more time to focus on the true meaning of some of these holidays. And it gives me time for quiet reflection and it creates sacred space too for me. So I do miss my kids when they're gone. Sometimes I do feel a bit lonely, but I just surround myself with a wonderful support system and people that I love and people that love me. And I just make the best of it. Kimberly says, what's your favorite time of day? I would say anytime I have one-on-one time with each of my kids is my favorite time of day. And I take what I can get. My other favorite time of the day is tucking the kids into bed at the very end of the night and snuggling each one of my children. I also love when my kids come and greet me every morning when they first wake up. Now, if it's like 4 a.m., I don't know that I'm like thoroughly excited about that, but if it's like 6 a.m., 7 a.m., I just love how bright-eyed they are and how snuggly they are. I think that is my favorite, when they're just fresh and ready to take on a new day. It reminds me that I can do that too, and it fills me with hope too, so I love that. When I was a kid, my favorite time of day was 4 p.m. because it meant my homework was almost done and then I could go play. That's probably my kids' favorite time of day too. Okay, so if you have any questions, I will be looking for questions as you guys are hopping on here. Let's see, I covered all of those. Somebody asked, how do you remove facial hair? I have the same problem, and I didn't include your name here just in case you didn't want your name on that one. So I was going to share with you 2 products that I really love that are really affordable. This is the little razors I use. These are for facial hair, and they're from the brand Tinkle. You can get a pack of, I think, like 24 or 36 on Amazon, and they last me like 2 or 3 years. Like I think they're like $12, I want to say, for like a big old pack of those. And then I typically will use like toner after, and I just do it like lightly do it in just a few places where I have facial hair problems before I apply my makeup, but I use a toner right after. And then once a week, sometimes I'll get just like the little like peach fuzz because I'm super blonde. So I do get peach fuzz. And then I will do this green tea face mask. It's from the brand Sudden Change. And you can get a pack of 2 on Amazon for like $9 or $10. And these will last a super long time too. I found these originally at Walmart and it was really cheap and it works like amazing. And I've used more fancy products that came in from like sponsorships and things like that where I got to try products for free. And honestly, this one right here, it helps with redness, it helps with swelling, and my skin just feels amazing. And I've had people say like on camera sometimes like, your skin looks so good. Like, what is your secret? And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's using those little razors and then doing a green tea face mask about once a week. I don't know what it is. It just like rejuvenates my skin and it just feels good. So you can find that on Amazon or you can find it on Walmart, but you're probably gonna find the 2-pack, a cheaper deal on Amazon right now. And it's like $9 or $10. I love this stuff and it's great to gift to a friend. My sister originally gifted me this stuff and I was a little skeptical about if it really works because she was like, no, I love this stuff. She swears by it. And I'm telling you, it really is amazing. I love the Tinkle brand for facial hair. There is a Twinkle brand I don't recommend. I thought they were the same thing and they were just rebranding it because the translation in English meant something different. But I actually went to like a party of it was called like a favorite things party at Christmas time in my last neighborhood. And one of the gals has gorgeous skin and she shared one of her secrets were those little razors. Now, when you do it, it will cut your skin if you don't angle. So let me see if I can hold this up here. So if you do it like this, it will cut your skin. If you angle it like this, can you see how it's kind of angled? And then just lightly go down, it'll just shave slightly any unwanted facial hair. So I do have polycystic ovary syndrome. I do have PCOS, so I do have unwanted facial hair. And as I'm aging, I'm finding that that is becoming more of a problem is the facial hair. And so those little razors have done the trick for me. So I hope that answered the gal's question who asked that question. And Sally is just joining us. Welcome. Noreen says, does a YouTube vlogger's income vary much from month to month? I would say yes, and it's mostly based on sponsorships. And it's different for every YouTube vlogger. And Nicola says, is it true Violet's favorite color is now green? Yes, she recently just changed her favorite color. She's adamant it is no longer purple. It is now green. And I'm surprised of all the colors that she decided it was green. So I'm trying to honor that the new favorite color is now green. So she's mad because she doesn't like her backpack anymore. So Cute Daisy said, oh, well, I've got an extra one that has green on it. You can use mine. Somebody said, would you ever get other animals? I don't know. I think rabbits, chickens. I would love to have like a mini golden doodle or some type of like hypoallergenic dog, but I don't know, just the cost to like have a pet that's a dog and then like 2 of my kids still being allergic to dogs, I'm a little more hesitant. So we're gonna see how we do with rabbits. I'm hoping Landon and Violet aren't allergic to the rabbits. We'll find out. Somebody just asked, what is your favorite Bible verse? Let's see if I can remember it. I'm no scriptorian. I always loved the verse in Matthew. Is it 5:14? Let your light so shine. I love that one. So can anybody quote that for me? I'm a little tired. Let your light so shine that when men see your good works, they will glorify your Father in heaven. I always loved that one. Trying to think other favorite Bible verses. If you have a favorite Bible verse, I would love for you to comment below what they are. That's one that I really, really love. Sometimes, as you know, as an introvert, it's hard for me to be online with social media and to share, but I'm really grateful because it provides a way to provide for my family and give them opportunities, these kids, things that they wouldn't otherwise have. Let's see. Sarah says, will you teach dance again, or do you think about getting another job? And that is something that I think about. I think if I were to teach dance again, it would get a little tricky just because the cost of being paid as a dance teacher and then the amount I'd be paying for childcare just doesn't add up. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. That is a beautiful verse. Be still and know that I am God. Jennifer, that is a good one. That's one that I've thought of, especially when the Quints were little. Violet is the oldest. Yes, Leslie, Violet is the oldest. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's a beautiful one too. I've forgotten all of these wonderful scriptures. Psalms 23. What does Psalms 23 talk about, Valerie? I cannot remember what that one is about. Natalie is joining us as well. I have considered getting another job. So this summer, Dad and I are going to be trading off about every couple weeks so that we can actually have time to travel. And so I have considered getting a part-time job potentially and just working as much as I can when my kids are gone, because it would be nice to have that added extra income, you know, for cushion, because we have all of our basic needs for the most part met right now, but it is still really tight for us. And so I have been looking at creative ways to bring in more income for our family. And then Jessica said, what is your favorite thing about being a mom of quintuplets? I think my favorite thing about being a mom of quintuplets is probably like these moments where all the kids want to read a book and then we're just all gathered around together, reading a story or like watching a show. And like, there's just so much love. It's hard to describe what that feels like. It's just like this overwhelming feeling of love and joy. I think that's my most favorite thing. The other thing I love is watching my children learn, grow, and progress and see the excitement in their eyes when they finally figure something out or they learn something and they're so proud of themselves. So there's just these moments, having hired or multiples, having 7 kids, where sometimes it does feel overwhelming. But then I also have so many more moments that outshine the hard parts of having to make sure that I'm meeting all the needs of my kids all the time. I think when they were babies, I would see all of their little feet lined up with all the little toes, and I would think, wow, I can't believe those are all mine. I can't believe we did this. And with God, all things are possible. Like, I'm always grateful for that. So it really is this beautiful experience being a mom of quintuplets. I never, ever in my wildest dreams, ever thought that motherhood would look like that for me. I thought I would be lucky to have 3 kids having polycystic ovary syndrome. I never, ever thought I would get to experience this ride of hired or multiples, but I'm really grateful for the experience, and they're each wonderful kids. I'm amazed though, the whole nature versus nurture, they're each so very unique and so very different from each other. They surprise me all the time with the things that they say, the things that they do, the ideas that they come up with, and they're just really, really good kids. So anyway, if you guys have any more comments, I will take a few more comments here. So if you have comments or questions for me, you are welcome to ask them. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Beautiful, Jean. I do love that. I do love that scripture. I think for me, scripture study is something that can get me through just about anything, and it helps me think higher than myself. Buttercup and Bluebonnet, call her Bonnie. That's really cute. I like flower names that we could abbreviate, so we could call them like 2 different names. What's your favorite season of the year? I love spring because that's typically when the flowers are blooming and blossoming, except for I don't like allergy season, but spring is probably my favorite. Umar is watching. Thank you for joining us. So if you have more questions, you can ask them. The kids are going to be getting home from the bus soon. With God, all things are possible. Matthew 19:26. Beautiful scripture. I love that we're able to share. Do you have an Amazon wish list? I don't. 2 people are asking. I don't. I like the name Poppy. That is a good name. I asked Skylar when I was pregnant, what do you think about the name Poppy? And he was like, He did not like that for a kid's name. I'm like, it's kind of cute. But for a bunny, that'd be really cute. Flowers and petals. Yes. All cute flower names for our little pet bunnies. Posy and Rosie. Those are really cute. I saw somebody else say the name like Clover could be a cute one. I'm like, that's cute. I hadn't thought of Clover. And I saw Marigold was one. Tons of cute flower bunny names. This is Kathy from Western New York. Hi, Kathy. Nice to see you. And Nancy is watching as well. Well, I am going to wrap up our video here. Iris is a beautiful name. Tell your daughter I said hello. I'm going to wrap up here because the kids will be getting home pretty soon here. Thank you all for joining me for this week's Facebook Live. We covered a lot of information, and I hope you learned a few things about the razors that I use and the face mask, the green tea face mask that I love. I will catch you at the next vlog, and excited to see all of you on here again next week. We'll see you later. Bye.